Ever feel like the life that you're living today is a constant reminder of the poor decisions you made years and years ago? Look, we've all made really bad decisions. We have all made mistakes. We will all continue to make mistakes. But here's the thing, wishing for a better past is not going to give you a better past because the past can't be changed. So what do when you know that holding on to a past you can't change is actually holding your life hostage, but you just can't seem to let it go? In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 ways to release the past and move forward. Hi, I'm Cassandra Vaughn. This is Cassandra Vaughn TV, a life redesign channel for women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s who want to rebuild their minds, redesign their lives, and reestablish their powerful sense of self-worth. If you're a woman in your 30s, 40s, or 50s and you are ready to rebuild your life, meaning you are ready to put on your crown, to reclaim the throne, and to rule your kingdom, click subscribe and click the bell and you'll be alerted every time there's a new video, and they'll all relate to you. I get asked this question a lot by coaching clients, and the question is this: how do I let go of what happened in the past and move beyond it? How do I get over it? That's the question that I get a lot. And the reality is that we've all had shitty situations happen to us. We've all had painful experiences that we never saw coming, that we had no way of even guessing that that's the situation we wind up in. And the reality is when life throws you an emotional gut punch, when you get treated in a certain way that you never expected to get treated, yes, you have every right to be angry about the past, but you don't have to choose to live there. And so when I get this question from coaching clients, it is a powerful question because on the one hand, you don't want to let people off the hook. On the other hand, they're off living their lives and you're over here still pissed. So the question becomes, what do you do? So the answer to what do you do is simple. It's just not easy. You have to find a way to move forward. And moving forward will look very different in different people's lives. But what I want to do today is give you 5 ways that you can actually release the past so you can move forward. So let's get into them. Number 1, forgive yourself for doing the best you could at the time. The first thing you can do to release the past and move forward is a true game changer, and it's forgive yourself. Self-forgiveness changes the entire game, because so long as you are holding on to the blame, shame, guilt game, I'm wrong for this, I did this wrong, as long as you are holding on to that, there is no moving on. There is no releasing the past because you are still holding yourself to a version of you that you no longer are. See, here's the thing about self-forgiveness. This is not, a lot of people refuse to forgive themselves because they think it's letting themselves off the hook. This is not letting yourself off the hook. This is saying, I did the best I could with what I had at that moment. And I was a different version of me than I am right now. Here's the deal. You are a different version of you than you were 15 seconds ago, 15 minutes ago, 15 months ago, and 15 years ago. So the beating up on ourselves over the decisions we made at 18 and at 28 when we're now 58 is like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. At some point, if you want to release the past and move forward, you've got to be able to say to yourself, what I did was wrong and my part in it was wrong, but I did the best I could. And I'm willing to let this thing go, which means I'm willing to forgive myself for not being a better version of me then. I did the best I could, and everybody does the best they could. And here's the thing, a lot of people will disagree with me, but I firmly believe you can't forgive anybody else until you forgive you. I know you want to say forgiveness for other folks, but if you aren't forgiving you, you have no capacity to forgive them. So the first thing you can do to release the past and move forward is just that. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself so you can set yourself free so you don't stay tied to a past you cannot change. Number 2, decide that what happened for you, not to you. The second thing you can do to release the past and move forward is a real paradigm shift. It's deciding that what happened for you and not to you. Now, this is all about meaning, right? This is about giving the past experience, no matter how horrific, how awful, how devastating, giving it an empowering meaning. It's about changing your role in that story that you keep telling. Because for a lot of us, when we've had a past that we wish was different, we put ourselves in the role of the victim. We say that, well, they did that to us and they changed this and my life would have never been this way. And what we don't realize, even though that story may have some accuracy to it, it's not empowering. Being the victim of your own story is not powerful. And so with this particular step, you are shifting the meaning that you're giving it. You're saying, I may not get it yet. I may be too close to it. It may have happened too recently for me to fully understand, or maybe it happened 20 years ago and I'm still pissed about it. But I'm willing to reframe this story I keep telling. And I'm willing to say that I am not the victim in what happened. I decide what this means in my life right now, and I can choose to make this mean something powerful. I can choose that experience made me stronger. It made me wiser. It forced me to listen to my intuition more. I can give you a ton of ways that you could reframe a past that you cannot change, but you wish you could change, into something where you are no longer the victim. You are the hero of that story. And remember, it's your story. So you can change the meaning of it. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that's easy. So if you're struggling with the meaning that you're giving a past you cannot change, I want you to comment below and tell me, what are you currently making that past situation mean? What are you making that past situation mean? And let's work to reframe what you're making that mean. So comment below and tell me, if you just can't see how you could make that shitty situation mean something powerful, tell me what you're currently making it mean, and let's reframe it. Number 3, make different decisions from this moment forward. So you got to make different decisions. You have to consciously create a different new version of you that doesn't operate in the same ways, in the same patterns, making the same mistakes that past version of you operated in. And it really is like, starting from this moment forward, you say, okay, if I don't want to be that person, if I don't want to repeat those patterns, and listen, we all repeat patterns from the past. So let's just get the perfectionism out of the way. Let's get this whole thing of like, why do I keep repeating that? We all have patterns. It's important to recognize those patterns. But once you recognize the patterns, the solution to no longer making those same mistakes is showing up as a different version of you. And a different version of you requires different decisions. So I want you to really think about, okay, I can't change the past. I want to release it. One of the best ways to release it is actually to immediately in this moment become a different version of you that no longer makes those kinds of choices. So if you were that different version of you, what decisions would you be making today, and how would those decisions be different from the decisions you made last year, 10 years ago, 15 years ago? So comment below and tell me, what is one different decision that you can make today that signifies you being a completely different version of you, a version of you that has learned from the past and that will not repeat the past in the future. Comment below and tell me, what is one different decision that you can make today? Number 4, stop hanging around people who insist upon condemning you. This seems like an easy one, but a lot of people do not do this particular thing that would actually help them release the past and move forward. Stop keeping people around you who insist upon condemning you. Listen, I don't know how many Judases you need in your life before you figure out that Judas is going to betray you, but let me just break it down. You do not need any Judases in your life. At the end of the day, people who have been with you through thick and thin, who watched you go through past mistakes, past patterns, if those people don't have your back enough to say, listen, you did the best you could, you got to move forward. If those people can't say that to you, and instead what they're saying to you is stuff like, well, you always do this. You always make that mistake. You remember when you did that? You remember when you did that? You remember when you screwed up? Listen, you are going to do enough condemnation of yourself to yourself, which is why self-forgiveness was way number 1. You do not need anybody on your team who actually isn't even on your team, who's just simply going to sit there to say, but you remember you screwed up like this and you screwed up like that. Listen, you don't need somebody keeping a tally of your screw-ups. You do that very well on your own. So at the end of the day, if you've got people, I don't care if they're family, if you've got people who sit around to remind you of a version of you that no longer exists, a version of you that you used to be, so they feel better about themselves, so they let you believe that you don't deserve anything better in the future because of mistakes you made in the past. You know what you need to do with those folks? I don't care if they're your mother. You need to drop them like it's hot. You need to, because your ability to move forward is hindered by people who hold you to a version of you that died a long time ago. Died a long time ago. So why are you keeping people in your life who are sitting in the collateral damage of your mistakes, reveling in them, condemning you every opportunity they get to remind you how screwed up and stupid and flawed and worthless you are? Do you really need that? Let me help you out. No, you don't. So, for anyone who wants to counter me on that and say, well, no, but I need my siblings and I need la la la. Here, I want you to comment below and I want you to tell me, what value does anybody in your life who's currently condemning you, what value do they actually bring to the table? For just tell, I'm just curious. Like, share with me, what's the reason you're keeping them? Because I guarantee you, no matter how big of a reason you have to keep someone condemning you in your life, there is one reason that trumps every other reason you could give me, and that is this: your self-worth. So comment below. If you're keeping somebody like that in your life, tell me, why are you keeping them? I'm just curious. Just want to know, why are you keeping them in your life? Number 5, create a new dream and focus all of your attention on your one thing. One of the best ways to release the past, and one of the happiest ways you can release the past, is to create a new dream and focus all of your attention on one dream, one thing. I wrote a book called Achieve One Dream. And really the heart of the book is, how do you really focus in on one, I had 2 fingers, one dream. And so this step, and this is the 5th way that you can release the past and move forward, is a really powerful one, because the moment you can say, okay, maybe I'm still pissed about the past, maybe I'm still angry about it, but let me pick a new dream, a new vision, something to put all of my heart and soul into, something that thinking about it brings me joy. And then the moment you can really focus all of your attention on that one dream and put everything, like Wallace D. Wattles said in The Science of Getting Rich, whole mind into present action, then you're not really thinking about the past anymore. Now you're in the present moment creating your future, and it's exciting and it's joyful and you're looking forward to it, and you're no longer living in the shadow of who you used to be. You're now asking yourself questions like, who do I need to be to create this dream? Who do I have to become to have all that I want? And you're focused on this one dream. It's exciting, it's fun, it takes your mind off of past situations that you cannot change, and it puts all of your attention on the one dream that right now you have the opportunity to build. That's super exciting, and it's one of the best ways that you can actually, without even realizing that you're doing it, release the past and move forward. There you have it, my 5 ways to release the past and move forward. You know, here's the situation. If you are stuck in a past you cannot change, there is no building the future that you really desire. There is no rebuilding your life, rebuilding you, rebuilding your mind if you keep going back to a past that you're angry about and you feel grief over. Yes, you have to mourn a past you can't change, but you don't have to live there. And so if you're struggling with letting the past go, if you're struggling with finding a way to move on with your life and move forward and rebuild yourself, I'm going to invite you to join me for the 10-week Rebuild Yourself program. It is an amazing program for women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s who are ready to rebuild their lives. And one of the things that I teach in that 10-week program is how to let the past go and how to actually leverage the past to create the future that you really want. So you can find out more about the 10-week Rebuild Yourself program at CassandraVaughn.com/programs. So if this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching and have an amazing week.